Today is day one of transforming this pond to a fisherman's paradise. That was my deer feeder. Anyways, we're gonna be pumping the water out of this pond, completely draining it, and there's structure all throughout here. It's not really good, it's just big logs and stuff. Just for reference how much stuff is in here, this is just a few tires that I pulled off the banks. So no telling how much is actually in there. And we've done a lot of clearing around the edges, we burned a lot, and this is just gonna be great once we get the water siphoned out. Alright, so I already did this part a few days ago. I didn't get any footage of it. But what I basically did was I primered and glued 2 sticks of pipe together, a 45 at the end, and probably about a 2 foot piece at the very end of this pipe that goes pretty much out to the middle. It's 2 sticks and a cinder block on the end to keep it weighted. If we go up here, we got a check valve right here. So what a check valve is, this one just has a floating flap. This is this is all 1.5 inch pipe. So what this check valve does, water can only come up this way. It cannot go back down this way. So essentially it is just a big valve that is automatic. So that's what that is. Then we come up here and we can run. You see I cleared a trail through this burn pile. We can see how far this pipe truly goes back. And keep going down. I'm gonna go the easy way though. All the way up there is the top. Keep going back. And I got it ran all the way down to my creek. My creek's back there. So all this water that's pulling it, it should just go right into the creek. Materials you're gonna need for this project. First, you're gonna need some kind of glue and primer. It can be clear, can be that one, doesn't matter. We got 2 fern cones, a ball valve. Those are optional, we might not use those, you don't have to. 1.5 inch drain tee, 4 1.5 inch 45s, 22 degree bends, 1.5 inch, all this is 1.5 inch. 2 clean outs with the caps, and 12 couplings. And then you're gonna need 1 check valve. All right, enough talking, let's get this project started. All right, first thing you're gonna do is make sure your pipe is somewhat dry. And we're gonna get our primer. Make sure you don't get too much on there. I'm gonna put it around it. We're not worried about being pretty here, just because it's outside and not in somebody's house. Okay, we're gonna switch to glue. Healthy amount of glue. All right, then you push it on there. Okay, there it is. It's on there. Next connection. Oh, that dauber just broke. Okay. Guess we're doing this. Okay, well, I don't know what to do. Come on. Well, we had a little failure, guys. Our little dauber broke mid fitting put on. So I had to use my hand and put it on there, but got it on there, and I hope that got on there good enough to seal. That wasn't my best. That was not my best best one. Can definitely tell you that. All right, got my T and clean out installed. And then for my cap, put it on there. This is where we're going to prime the system. And a little trick if y'all need to keep y'all's pipe level, just take a bucket handle and put it over it and put some weight in the bucket and just scoot the bucket out so I can adjust it how I want it. Right there, it's about level, so I'll leave it right there. It's officially time to prime the system. So remove the cap, grab a cup, and just do this till it's full. All right, I got the siphon going finally. Took me a while to get everything fully jointed together, and it worked pretty good, but I found out in the system there was a big gouge in the pipe, and I had to take one of the fern cones and cut the pipe so I could get the siphon to go, because it was just leaking out, and I had been priming it for forever, pouring buckets into the primer. And it just kept going out the pipe. So I got that fixed and got the siphon finally going. So one more look of the pond before it starts to drain down. And I'm gonna show you everything that got completed. One last time. Check valve, end in the water, and then we got it going to a T, clean out, going down the bank. I got a coupling every so often for this pipe, and make sure you go a little heavy and primary glue on the top just to make sure none of the air gets into the bubble, because if it gets into the pipe, then it's just going to completely fail. Anyways, going down to the pipe, we got a 45 turning down and going into the woods. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the end and show you all the siphon. Alright, we're down to the creek where I have it ran, and I put a clean out cap. Ooh, that water's cold. Put a clean out cap at the end of the pipe and put the cap on it. And that's a pretty good flow, if I do say so myself. Water, so I don't know how many gallons a minute that is, but it's pretty good. And it'll probably take a week to get down to the point where we're wanting it to work on it, and then we're gonna keep draining it till it's almost drained and leave some water in there, and right before rainy season comes, drain it all the way. And you may be asking, why are we draining the pond? Well, it's just not that good of a pond currently. It's gonna be a paradise once we're done with it for fish. There's no bluegill spawning beds that are pea gravel spawning beds like they should be that I'm aware of. So the bluegill really don't spawn that good. It's clay. They don't do too good spawning in here. This year we had an okay spawn rate, but they've already been all eaten, so none of them survived because there's not enough structure for them to hide in. All the bass that I catch out of here, they're little bitties, like all under 8 inches. They're tiny, and none of them really grow past that. Also, I have a pretty bad snail problem in here, so I'm gonna introduce red ears. I'm gonna stock up bluegill, fathead minnows, and then eventually, after so long of them just breeding in here, and there's tons of them, one day I want to just be able to throw cast net and catch like 100 of them. Once it's to that point, then I'm gonna go ahead and stock some F1 tiger bass in here, and this is just gonna be insane. They should grow like crazy, and it will be pretty crazy. Also, another reason that my bass don't grow so good is because they are infested with parasites from those snails. That's another reason we're stocking the red ears, because that will just help the population of the snails. It will keep them down, and then there's no plant life in here, so we're gonna add lily pads over there. And then I can't catch a bass out of here. I don't know if it's because there's not that many out here in the pond, or because there's so many little ones, but I can't catch them. I know they're still in here because they'll just follow my bait and watch it. It's like a pressured pond, but it's not that pressured, so there's no reason for it to be like that. Getting all the bass out of here, and then by then, hopefully, once we get it drained, and it fills back up, it will be a fish paradise for bluegill, red ear, maybe some catfish, fathead minnows, and those F1 tiger bass with the crazy genetics. So those should grow huge. What an F1 tiger bass is, if y'all don't already know, it is a cross between a Florida strain bass and a northern strain bass. And then that just allows crazy genetics, because northern strain bass, they're limited to around 10 pounds, and they don't get much bigger than that. They do get bigger than that, but it's not as common as you think. And Florida strain, though, they get huge. Some of the Florida strains get to 20 pounds. So when you breed those two genetics, that it's crazy, because they grow rapidly, up to 2.5 pounds a year. And once these fish get put in here, it will just go crazy. And the Florida strain is a really lazy fish, so it doesn't really, you can't catch them as often, but when you do catch them, they're usually really big. And the Florida strain is super aggressive, and they don't get as big. So when you breed those two together, they're just a crazy genetically modified bass. And those are what are gonna be in here. And then once I get the dock built over there, I'll put green lights on the end of it, and then maybe I would get there, throw some food, shad or something out there. Maybe they'll hit it. Also, I'm gonna stock threadfin shad in here, probably yearly, monthly maybe. Day 1 of draining. The water level was a 1/2 inch above that brick, and now probably 6 inches down on that brick. There's where the water level was on the stick, right there. Day 1 of draining. Day 2 of draining. Sorry I wasn't able to get out here during the day, but it is extremely low. The tree is now completely out of water. I'll run over here and show you my marker. So there's the stick, there's the stick, and there's the bank all the way down here. So we've dropped about 1.5 feet of water, and this thing is still siphoning. Got the green light going. She's going smooth. Day 3, draining the pond. Here's the stick, right here. Water levels all the way down there. There's the brick. I moved it back out to the middle. So now we have another marker. It's dropped about almost 2 feet. It's almost dropped 2 feet. So, and then it was at that tree. That tree is officially completely out of water. And I'm starting to see some stumps. Day 5 of draining. It has been 130 hours of draining. I completely forgot to give an update yesterday on day 4, but it's gone down rapidly now. Now that we're getting lower and lower, it's going by faster and faster. There's the brick. Yesterday I replaced it, and it's already out of water again. And then over here, let me show you something that's crazy. There's trees coming out of the water, but there's pipes attached to them he used to sink them. The guy that owned the place before he left. All those trees down there, he had pipes attached to them that he sunk. So he sunk the pipes with the tree. So all those trees are just attached to big metal pipes. So, and then here's one of the markers right here. There's the stick right there. And there's the water down there. This was at water level. And then it's the sticks right there. So, day 5 pond update. Day 5, wait, no. Day 6, no, it's day 5. Day 5 of draining. There's my marker right there. And water levels all the way down here again. Walk down on this board. There's the brick. There's the water level. It's getting smaller and smaller. I'm sorry. Tomorrow I definitely will get out here in time to be in the daylight, because this was after dark. Again, I was working on my 4-wheeler, so I do apologize. But tomorrow y'all get to see it in daylight, and I'll do a little bit better showing. Officially day 7 of draining. There's my marker. My water level is all the way down here. Again, there's the marker. There's the brick. And then there's the water level way out there. there's a tire right there starting to show a stick. So that's one tire. 2 tires, there's one right there. And then there's the 3rd tire. There's the trees, they're out of water. This is my marker on this side, right there. Water level's down there. That's a 10-foot kayak that was in water. So that kind of shows you how far it's gone down. There's my siphon system still pumping water. And yeah, so day 7 of draining. Day 8 of draining the pond. There's a tire right there, tire right there, tire right there, tire right there, and another tire right there. So we got 5 tires. There's one right there. Again, had no idea any of these were in here. So, day 8 of draining. I apologize, it's been a while since I filmed last. I believe it was day 8. It's been several weeks. So we've gotten everything pretty much drained, everything cleared out. We cleared all the cans from the previous owner, some of the trash. I still got a little bit to pick up. We got rain coming this week, so I got to get some stuff done before it's too late. And that's pretty much going to do it for this video. What we ended up doing with all the tires is I put them on the dock post, and they're going to just stay there. So I don't got to worry about them scattering out no more. And then I got a rock pile, and I'm going to put a spawning bed right there. So the next video is going to be us putting in pea gravel spawning beds and structure. So stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching part 1. This was amazing, fun video to do. So I'll catch you on the next one.